What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XYO today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. It's been a while since we've talked about XYO. How long has it been? Let's see. XYO. Not too long, but yeah, a couple weeks, right? Almost 2 weeks, not quite 2 weeks. To be fair, in 2 weeks, in the last 12 days or so that it's been, you haven't really done anything worth talking about, right? We're basically in the same range that we've been at, so I haven't missed a whole lot. Here we are, up 20% today, 18% right now, and that's nice. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you haven't, by the way. It's looking like you're still in this downtrend in the price, but you're breaking out of this downtrend in the RSI, which I think is the first step to breaking out of your downtrend in the price, right? From a high, coming down, connecting with these highs, you touched it, you broke above it, you back tested it for support, now you're going, bro. You're going. And that's great. That's phenomenal. Your next step, though, is you need to get some daily readings above the 60. You need to maintain above the 60. Resistance here, support here, resistance here. It's a very key area in the RSI to uphold. To see something like that, I would assume you'd need to close, looking at it now, probably wouldn't have to close too much higher. I bet if you close that at about 1.3 cents, 1.35 cents, somewhere in that area, you'd probably get that. But you need to sustain that. It needs to maintain. And even then, you still are in this downtrend in the daily time frame, right? On the price action here from that high. I didn't mean to draw it like that. Let's see. Hold on. We go to this high here, something like that. Yeah. You're still in this daily downtrend. Downtrend right here. Maybe if we take it from the closing prices, right there. But then again, I'm starting from the wick here, so then going to this closing price, I feel like I'm cherry picking. So really, I think this is the proper downtrend. Until you're above, what price would that be? Something like basically right there at about 1.6 cents, 1.7 cents. If you were to do it today, it'd have to be above like 1.65 cents, something like that. If you can do that on a daily closing basis, you're breaking out of your downtrend in the price, you're breaking out of your downtrend in the RSI. Good things mean good things to come, my friends. And I do think it's very obvious who's in control here, right? Even throughout this whole time while you've been moving down, have you noticed what candles are the biggest? Is it the red candles or is it the green candles? Are the green candles bigger or are the red candles bigger? The green ones are bigger, even in the downtrend. In the uptrend, though, you move up dramatically faster, right? It took you dramatically less time to do this than it did to eat back not even the whole move, right? You spend a lot of time to the downside. So the bulls are firmly in control. Let's make no mistake of that, okay? You can see it with your eyes. You can see with your eyes. You're finding support here on a closing basis, on the weekly closing basis, right here at prior areas of resistance on a closing basis, Wick City, prior areas of resistance throughout this thing's history. And it's not the most significant area, but I wonder if we take a low to high, I wonder if it's like the golden ratio. It probably is. Low to high. Yeah, right there, right? You closed right at the golden ratio, wicked down into it, hitting the 6.9, and now you're back up. Now, I will say, moving out from the golden ratio, finding resistance at the 0.5, and then moving back lower, that's a pretty common thing to do. You are still in a downtrend in this price action. It's important that you don't get too excited too fast because that can set you up for disappointment. If you're just eager, you're chomping at the bit to see this thing explode, I get it. I get it, man. It's been since December. I get it. It's not the only crypto that people are waiting for it to move up either. And it will in time. But if you're chomping at the bit for it, that can really screw you up if it does move lower. Every single low, it just gets more and more punishing the more and more that you get hyped on every single high. So don't become desperate. Don't become, I don't know. Don't weigh too much on the bullish side. We can still go lower. We haven't validated this as a low, but I have to be honest. I do like that as a low for XYO. I do like that as a low. Let's see how far away that is from the current price on a percentage basis. 30%, that really could be the low. It depends, though. It depends on how much more you move up. If this is all you see, if you don't move up too much more, if that's it, and you start to move down, it's very possible that you could go below. It's very possible that you could go all the way down to even 0.0066. I have a hard time seeing that personally because from your current price, that would imply that you drop 46%. I don't see that happening. More likely than not, you'd get some kind of double bottom. That would be more of an expectation that I would have, or maybe even a higher low. But again, if you want to absolve that, if you want to absolve any kind of lows that are around this area or below that area there, just continue. Don't stop here, right? Because going from your golden ratio to bouncing off your 0.5, it genuinely does set you up for the 786 to 886 area. The only reason why I'm taking that off the table is I don't think XYO is going to drop that much. I don't think because if XYO drops that much, not that XYO is like the most prominent crypto out there, but that might imply that other cryptos are dropping that much too. And I see the average coin, if we do drop to lower prices from here, dropping like 20 to 30%, let alone the average coin isn't moving up as much as you are this time. So I would think maybe you drop as much, if not a little bit less than the average coin on this next move. We'll see how it goes. Daily time frame, daily RSI looking good, postured in the upward position there. 4-hour time frame, we are overbought. That's not a bad thing. You want to get overbought, right? Overbought is where you see your strongest readings. What you don't want to see is getting overbought and getting out, right? You want to maintain readings in the overbought zone. That's when you see this, you're maintaining readings in the overbought zone. You're not just there for one candle and then out. That's when you get your strong moves, your moves that continue to build from, right? The ones where you do just dip in and dip out, that's where you get your momentary tops in this downtrend. So again, just basically reinforcing that same thought that I just said, which is continue from here. Don't stop from here, right? Continue. And you're pretty deep in the overbought zone. So I think the chances are good that you can continue. Ideally, you would get above this 0.5. You don't need to go all the way up to this 382 at 1.7 cents, but wouldn't that be nice? If you do, that would be really encouraging. In fact, I wonder what would break you out of this downtrend, right? 1.67, 1.63 cents, something like that is what it would take. So if you got over here, wouldn't that break you out of this downtrend in the daily time frame? It doesn't look like it would, but I think it would. Yeah, that would, if you were up here, you'd be above there. So yeah, that'd break you out technically. And some people would say that you're not done with the downtrend until you get above these highs. So for me, for C-Zar, I would say that once you get above like 1.65 cents, it's time to celebrate that this is probably your low. But for some people, the old heads, the more traditional people that are technical analysts, they might say, wait for you to get above this 236, wait for you to get above these highs, and that's appropriate too. So I would get excited a little bit earlier than that. I don't think you need all that in order to confirm this. But in all fairness, once you do get above 2.5 cents, 2.5227 cents, once you get above there, hi mom, that's whenever you do validate this as a low, no matter who you are, right? C-Zar says validation right here at the 382 or even just below there. And then I think most people would agree if getting above these highs here would validate that's a low. And if we do validate the low, it's time to start talking about the upside, right? Let's talk about the upside. We've talked about the downside. We've talked about what you need to do to validate the downside or validate the upside, right? If you do validate the upside from a low to a high, the price action, the price area that we'd expect to go to is somewhere around 7 cents to 12.5 cents, and maybe, just maybe, you go higher. I want to compare XYO to Bitcoin. Let's do that. XYO BTC on KuCoin. Thank you, KuCoin, for actually having these pairs available to us. I don't know what I'd do without you. I would just have to make my own chart, I guess. And we can do that as well. So XYO versus BTC, where did it stop before? It stopped right here. You do look to be in a bull flag of sorts, finding resistance right here at prior areas of resistance, prior areas of support. Yes, if you were to grow from here, I think that XYO would at least interact with this area. It's not guaranteed to see a higher price versus Bitcoin, but if it does, maybe you go up to your all-time high areas versus Bitcoin here, something like that. So let's just input these numbers. Let's put, what is that? 1, 2, 3. That's 6 zeros, 4, 6, 5, 8. Is that right? 6 zeros, 4, 6, 5, 8. Hold on now. Is that right? Hold on. Have I done my math wrong? Let me look at something real quick. Hold on, guys. Did I mess it up? Did I type in 5? Oh no. Hold on. Let's see. Found your hidden. Nope. Hold on. Because I just made a video on this, and XYO and XCN are like at the same prices, are they not? Did I do this wrong? Oh wow. 6 zeros, guys. Oh, but that's because that's where it is now. Okay, but when it goes higher, it's going to be at 5 zeros. Okay, sorry guys, I had a brain fart. I really had a brain fart there, a massive brain fart. My bad. Just ignore that. Ignore that little glitch brought to you by C-Zar. Okay. We were going to say, right? We were going to say this here, from this high to potentially up at around these targets here, something in between this area, right? And that's 5 zeros. Okay. All right, here we go. So if we're at 6 zeros, 4658 versus Bitcoin, Google calculator, 6 zeros. Come on now. 6 zeros, 4858. Was that what it was? 4658. My bad. 4658. Very specific, right? Got to be very specific. And let's say Bitcoin was at its current price, right? So XYO builds to this price versus Bitcoin. It goes back to its current high, and then Bitcoin doesn't move at all. It's still at the same price. If that's the case, which I doubt it, I doubt XYO moves up and Bitcoin's at the same price or lower. But basically, you could expect to see higher prices than this on Bitcoin's or on XYO's next move. Let's just say 460. We'll just do that. That put it at about 4 cents, right? 4 cents there. So 4 cents would put you back at around these highs here. Okay, cool. If you do see new all-time highs versus Bitcoin, I think that you would seeing something maybe not at the all-time highs. Let's actually refine this down to the weekly closing highs. That'd be at still 609631. 609631. You know, I'm just gonna redo it. Times the current price, and again, I think that Bitcoin would only grow in value from here. If XYO is growing in value, Bitcoin would also grow in value. That'd be an 8-cent price. All right, now let's assume that XYO versus Bitcoin is at this higher level. You do grow versus Bitcoin, and maybe you stop at this prior resistance point here. I could see that happening. In fact, I want to just validate this real quick and just see if we can refine this a little bit better. High to low. I mean, that's right at your 886. I could see that happening. Okay, so we'll stick with it. Okay, cool. And let's assume that Bitcoin's higher in price. If XYO is moving up, maybe Bitcoin's moving up, the whole crypto space is moving up, stuff like that. If that's happening, and I think that it will happen, I would assume that Bitcoin is at least above $100,000, maybe even at new all-time highs itself. Let's just put it at like 105K. Let's just see what that would do. That'd be a 10-cent XYO, right? XYO USD, 10 cents. Very close to your 1618, and again, I don't think that XYO would be up at this price and Bitcoin is at below its all-time highs. I think it would be higher, but just to show, right, if Bitcoin moved up a little bit and the altcoins got a kick out of it, certain prices that might correspond to where XYO versus Bitcoin is. Let's assume Bitcoin goes to where I think it's going to go. Let's assume that XYO tops off when Bitcoin tops off, and I think Bitcoin's going to top off at 170K. Let's say that that's too bullish. I'm crazy, and it doesn't go to 170K. Instead of 100K, instead of 170K, let's just find something right in the middle and do 135K. Okay, and I think it will go to 170K by the time this move is done, and likely XYO would be at its top area by the time Bitcoin's at its top area too. So I'm still being somewhat conservative here, right? But instead of 105K, let's say 135K, right? Right in between, because I'm saying 100. I think Bitcoin, whenever it moves up, it is going to stop at 170K. I don't think 135K is too much to ask for, right? If this is the low, and I don't think that this is the low, I still think that we go lower. 136K is actually at the 1618. So 135K to me, that's not that crazy. But the 1618 so far, no, it's not, man. No, you don't know what you're talking about. Let's see. If we go, we look at this right here. We go right here from a high, maybe this high to a low here. You stopped at your 2618. Not your 1618. You stopped at your 2618. We take that high to low there. You stopped at this 2618 as well. I think here you did stop at your 1414. Let's see. Nope, you stopped at your 1886. So when I tell you that the 1618 is not too high, I genuinely believe, guys, we're going to stop at the 1272 or the 2272 at 172K. But that's neither here nor there, right? This is not a Bitcoin video. I'm just saying 135K. If that seems crazy to you, you're crazy to me, because I think you're going to go much higher than this. And if XYO is worth that price there at the 886, this prior all-time high closing period on the weekly basis there, you're bouncing from here, and I think that's a very suitable area for you to go to. You could stop at your 786 as well, but let's just say 100. We're still being conservative, right? Let's say 135K. That puts you at a 13-cent price, XYO. You're at 1.2 cents now. Let's get really bullish. Let's say that I'm right. Let's say that you do hit this upper end versus Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin itself is worth 170K. Probably a little bit more than 170K, but by the time XYO tops off, what price would that give you? That'd give you about a 16-cent price, you guys. That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. XYO could genuinely see a move that is over a 10x in overall growth. It wouldn't surprise me in the least, XYO, if you stopped at about 12.5 cents, if you stopped anywhere from there to maybe even 23 cents. I have a hard time seeing you go above 23 cents on this next move. Again, when is this next move going to start? I don't know. When is it going to finish? I don't know. But I assume that when it does start, which is probably going to be over the coming weeks, if not at this rate, over the coming days, it will likely end within a 6 to 8 week period, maybe even a little bit longer than that. I'm expecting that the end of May is going to be when this move comes to an end. So this target area of about 12.5 cents to 23.5 cents. That is end of May targets. This is your next move. Is that the end of the cycle? No, it's not the end of the cycle. You're going to consolidate again and then continue to run. Absolutely, XYO. I think that you're going to see prices above $1 by the end of the cycle. What's your market cap value actually on that note? XYO. 164 million. Yeah, man. You've got 100x potential in you for sure, just from this price. So when I'm telling you that we'll probably stop at 12.5 cents to 23.5 cents, I hope you understand that that's not even close to where I think we're going to stop by the end of the cycle. By the end of the cycle, you'll be worth $1.20, $2.40, $3, $5 maybe. You know, something crazy is coming your way. And actually, I think we can assume, we can try to assume, best of our abilities. By the way, this is a really bullish chart. Most cryptos, I shouldn't even say most. I shouldn't say most. There are a lot of cryptos that are still around their bear cycle lows or even forming new lows. So just forming this uptrend, you actually are having a bull market where a lot of altcoins are not. That's a good thing, man. That's really a good thing. And I think that speaks to what we're saying here. By the way, this low, anybody know what that low is right there? That V and that U, that is a Adam and Eve double bottom. It's a very powerful double bottom. It's a very nice double bottom. It's something that technical analysts look for to promote a strong base of support and then something to grow from. And you're looking very productive on your fibs, in all honesty. Normally when you reject your 786 like this, you go to the 236. So holding up at the 382 is nice. Being productive on your fibs overall, very nice as well. Finding support, prior area of resistance, good stuff. To get to your all-time high area now, getting away from that, oftentimes cryptos do stop somewhere between their 1618 and their 2272. It is possible. I know we've talked about dramatically higher targets than 68 cents, but it is completely possible. XYO could stop at 68 cents by the end of the cycle. It's completely possible, and it's a valid target. If we take this high here to this low here, you did stop right at your 1618, precisely right at your 1618 to a T last cycle. Could you do it again this cycle? Absolutely. Will that give you 100x? No. And I know people hear 100x and they're like, we're going to go there. Self-fulfilling prophecy, it's going to happen. But the reality is you might only, as sad as it is, you can wipe your tears with Benjamin's, a 56.5x. You might only, and I doubt it, but you might only see a 16x, a 17x, but I doubt that. I really do think that you would see something at least here, which is a phenomenal minimum. But likely, in my opinion, you do see prices that are at $1.69 or higher. $1.69, oftentimes you stop between the 1618 or the 2272 whenever you do progress from cycle to cycle. And this would be your first or your second bull cycle, I suppose. I think $1.69 to $6.30 are very possible targets. Even just above $6.30, you could go up to like $8, something like that could happen. Could you go to $10? You could. You could. I don't think you will. I accept it as a possibility. I don't think you will. I also don't even think you'll get above $6 by the end of the cycle, but I do accept it as a possibility. I'm leaning, and just like I accept this as a possibility, but I don't think you stop below $1. I'm more thinking $1.70 to $2.50 is where you're going to go. And that, at any rate, is like 140x to a 219x, man. So that's crazy, crazy growth. The last thing that I'll finish this video with is if you've been excited about any of these moves, my theory is this: you haven't seen anything yet. we're getting to the strong part of the bull cycle. You will see moves that are more prominent like this. You'll see moves that are more robust than anything you've seen in years. The biggest moves have yet to come. So if you were excited by this, or you get the wrong idea and think, okay, well, it moved up. Let's see, from that low to high, it moved up. It did a 9.5x this time. So from this low to high, if it does anything around there, I'm just going to sell. Where you're going to sell right around the all-time highs. And if you sell right around there, man, you might miss out on what could be, from the low, an overall 24x. Right? We've got targets that make sense out of you going to 16 cents. And we've got targets that make sense out of you going a hell of a lot higher than that by the end of the cycle and by the end of May. So I've got nothing else for you guys. I hope you liked the video. My voice is getting all scratchy. I'm going to end the video. So hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Bye-bye.